Hi, thank you so much for joining me today for day 27 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life Series 11. And today's sketch, which you can see in the top right hand corner, is by Alma Ross. I'll post all her details below along with the playlist so that you can see everybody else who's joining in on this hop. Now this photo is a really special photo of my daughter last November at the Remembrance service at school. Each year one pupil is chosen to wear this poppy dress, which is made up of poppies. The art department make it made up of poppies from year 7 each year. Each year year 7s are asked to create poppies, and the ones that are finished in time are added to the dress. So they're slowly adding the train and the cape each year, and it's a wonderful tradition and a really special honour to be asked to wear it. And her music teacher put her forward to wear this in 2022. She also sang a solo. I went with Mum and Dad to the service. It was really moving, and she was just stunning. Anyway, I'm using 49 Market ARToptions Alena for this because I thought the red flowers in that went perfectly with this poppy dress. So I'm just layering up mats behind the photo. I used some black cardstock first of all, and then a piece of 6x8 from the 6x8 paper pad. And now I'm just adding a piece from the die cuts. It's almost like a newspaper print, which I thought went nicely behind, and just roughing up the edges with my Tim Holtz edge distresser. And now I've pulled out some of the florals from the laser cut elements. I wanted to extend the florals across the top of the page where Alma has those hearts. So I'm just having to play around with the die cuts, and in a minute I will bring in some of the rub-ons as well because I just felt it was a bit too blocky, but the rub-ons really do give that beautiful watercolour finish and just layer up nicely with those florals. So just messing about and having a faff, trying to decide if this is going to work for me. And that little flower and that butterfly, I just couldn't work out where they were going to go. So in the meantime, I move on to the cluster around the photo, and I'm going to build up a cluster in the bottom right-hand corner here. Again, using a lot of these red florals, and I've used the photo wrap that comes on the laser cut embellishments. I really like that finishing touch to the photo there in the green. So just building up these pieces, I've got some leaves, a beautiful little silver heart locket, and then lots of the florals, and also a little button, all from the laser cut elements. And I was just having to play with this stamp, but it doesn't make it in the end. It's not quite right for the layout. So I'm going to start sticking things down now. So bringing in my Sticks to 25mm foam pads, and just making sure that's central before popping that down up at the top there. And I think it's at this point that I realise that I want to bring in some of the rub-ons, as I mentioned. So just gluing this leaf down. I'm not being too precise, just adding glue to the big leaves, and that's enough to hold it in place. And here are those rub-ons I was talking about. Like I say, they give a little bit more of an ethereal feel. They're not quite as blocky as the laser cut elements are. More subtle colours, I think. And they layer beautifully. And once they're on the paper, you wouldn't know that they weren't part of the paper print to begin with, which is great because it means that you can manipulate the designs to suit what you want. And like I say, because I wanted the design to follow along across the top of the page, I can use these rub-ons and laser cuts just to do that. Bringing in some of the smaller elements as well, just to layer up so that it looks seamless. And then bringing in that laser cut piece. And as you can see, one I've added onto foam and the other one I've just kept straight onto the page. I love adding those different dimensions. So almost there at the top now, and then I can move on to the photo. So now onto the photo, so I'll just glue that piece down, the photo wrap, and you'll see it doesn't reach the bottom of the photo, but that's fine because I'm adding one of the roses at the bottom, so it will cover the bottom edges and you won't know that it doesn't go all the way down. So So just gluing that in place, and then I can add the whole photo mat to the layout. And this one came together ever so quickly because the paper does the work for you, really. Normally I spend hours doing all the mixed media and things, but it's all there. And this paper just seemed just right for this photo. So now building up those florals around the edge. And again, I will come in with some more of the rub-ons as well, just to build it up a bit. First of all, one of the roses. And you can see how that just softens the hardness of the laser cut pieces. The colours are ever so slightly different, a little bit more subtle, slightly more watercoloured. And what I love about the 49er Market rub-ons is that you can layer them up onto quite textured cardstock and paper. You see all the different layers that I've got going on that photo mat, and the leaves layered over with ease. They didn't crack or anything, they just look as if they're part of it. And that really brings everything together. So now just working out where all these florals are going to go. And building them up, layering them, adding foam. And it creates a really nice cluster at the bottom there. And I think it works so well because the photo's so busy with all those poppies on the floor and in Amelia's dress. So just getting these leaves stuck down as well. And then I'll start working up the right-hand side of the photo. I don't add too much more, but just a little bit more detail. And it really finishes it off. Just working out where to put that one. I decide to layer it in there and then bring in some more rub-ons above. First of all, I find a butterfly, but I put that to one side. I don't add that straight away because I want to add some of these tiny little berries, almost as a sprig coming out of the top. And then once that's down, I want to add just some of the little paint splatters that are on the rub-ons. So I just rub those straight from the sheet around the top of those berries. So there you can see just a few little ones there, a few more. And then there are some on the left-hand side of the sheet, but I can't pull it back, so I just cut those off. And pop those at the top. And then I remember that there are some text sheets on one of the other rub-on sheets. So I move to that once I've got the butterfly down and just add a little bit of that towards the top of the photo. And these are all subtle details that you almost don't notice, but they make such a difference. Again, just rubbing this straight from the sheet because I don't want to use the whole piece. But see how that just brings everything together. So just one more piece at the top above that butterfly. And that's that side done. And then I go on to the phrase sheet because I find this phrase and it says, "Yes, you did." And I just think, yep, you really did wear that dress. It was just a magical day. So I pop that to the left of the photo right next to Amelia. And it's nice because it's in the peach, so it doesn't stand out really heavily. It's just another little detail that you almost don't see. Just being careful to make sure all the letters come off. And then I remember I haven't stuck down those two hearts at the bottom, so just adding that silver locket style one and then a bit of foam behind the button, again, just to make it stand up a little bit. Just trimming the foam down to size. And there you have it. So the last things to do now are to add the title and the journaling, which I've kept in the same position as Alma has in her sketch. So first of all, I'll do the title, and I'm using these Ellie Studio Jane alphabet stickers in black, and the title is just simply The Poppy Dress. I don't know what I was thinking, but I start without my T-square and then realise I really do want this to be straight. So bring that in and add the rest of the letters. And I put the poppy at the top and then dress underneath. I didn't want it all as one long string. I felt like it was going to be too long. So there's the title. And then the journaling I'm simply going to add straight onto the paper. I didn't feel there was any need to add another block for the journaling. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you've enjoyed this process video. I certainly enjoyed creating it for you. And I shall see you again tomorrow for day 28. Thanks again. Bye.